This program is powered by Competition 102 and Acres BMW and Mini.
Coast of the Dutch province North Holland lies the famous seaside resort Zandvoort. The beach, the sea and the boulevard are loved by tourists and day trippers alike. But not everyone is here for the salty smell of the sea or the amazing views. Some are more interested in what's happening on the other side of the dunes at the historic Zandvoort track. This is truly the heart of Dutch motorsports, and today it's the proud host of the second round of the GT4 European Series.
This week we'll meet some new teams, cars and drivers. We'll take a closer look at the Las Morras racing team. And of course, two spectacular races at this historic venue. But first, a new car, the KTM Crossbow. The car missed the opening race at Nogaro, but the Austrian Zandvoort team worked tirelessly to get the cars ready for the Zandvoort races.
It's a completely new car, especially the monocoque that's from the normal Crossbow, but around it it's everything different. We have a pedal shift gearbox, we have race ABS, a quite new aero and bigger wheels, better brakes. New canopy, so it's a quite interesting view outside. It's really different and it's like the normal Crossbow, a great fun car to drive.
During their test sessions here at Zandvoort, the team got some help from all-round racing driver Jeroen Blekemolen.
Jerome came here and he helped us a lot. He was my team partner last year in the Blabon Sprint. So we knew each other quite good, and he's a great guy and he has so many experience and good advices and tips, and it's really great to work with such a profi driver.
We help our drivers. Two drivers are the first time here at Zandvoort, and it's not so bad when you have a driver with some experience here. Jeroen is one of the fastest drivers in the world, so it's a good friend from Sasha Halek, and he helps us.
The two spectacular KTM Crossbows aren't the only new cars here in Zandvoort. Also making its debut is the brand new Chevron GT4. For other people, the Chevron name will ring a lot of bells.
Chevron back in the 70s was a really big brand around the world in sports cars, and then in the last 3 or 4 years it's had some investment, and we've built the new GR8, which was the new generation of the B8. We've been racing it in the UK for 3 years now, and we're just, as you can see, trying to get a legitimate GT4 car.
New exciting names and cars in this series, but there's also new teams and drivers. Martensen and Kruger, two Swedes, driving the old BMW M3 that last year won the championship. They've never driven this Zandvoort track before. They are facing a steep learning curve. From the other side of their garage, we see a familiar face and car. Swedish Håkan Rignas is back with the Porsche 911, co-driven by Peter Larsen. Allied Racing, who tasted the GT4 concept last year at Monza, will enter another BMW of the same model, the M3. Drivers Dietmar Lackinger and Jan Kasperlik are eager to join the battle in the AM division. New team and drivers, MDM Motorsport, a BMW, and the Dutch brothers Tristan and Jorik Boersma. They were driving the Dutch Supercar Challenge, but are now looking for another challenge.
We made the decision to drive in the GT4 because we were looking for a more competitive championship. And the GT4, the cars are diverse. There's diversity in cars in the GT4, but I think the weight and power ratio is much more close than in the Dutch Supercar Challenge.
At Nogaro, we got to know a brand new car, the Sina 1 from Bulgaria, and it's a great addition to the GT4 European Series. At Zandvoort, the Green Sin is driven by two Argentinian drivers who make their debut in this series and at this track. José Luis Tallerman and José Balbiani.
We start with this car, with the Sin car. That is a car that has a lot of potential. Team maybe needs to improve a bit, but to be honest, I'm really happy today with the car. In the rain, it behaves really well. And for me, I'm really happy to be here in Zandvoort, a track I always wanted to drive in, with a lot of history, it's so old school that I like it much, and really happy to be in the GT4 series.
In the other Sin car, there is a familiar face. It's the brother of the current European champion Bernard van Oranje, Peter Christian. He swaps his regular BMW M3 for the Bulgarian race car as teammate of Hendrik Still. All Friday, he used to get used to his new racing car, and that wasn't all that easy.
It's a completely different car. I mean, the BMW is a very fast, difficult car to drive very fast, but it's very predictable. This car is very unpredictable, although it looks very aerodynamic. We are still a little bit struggling with the setup. It has a lot of potential. I think it has the potential to become the fastest car of the track, but we are not there yet.
Beautiful conditions for the start of the first race of the weekend, and a brand new name on pole, KTM. KTM's Crossbow in GT4 mode with no longer an open cockpit. As you can see, it's got a lift-off canopy, and it is Sascha Halek, the Austrian, who starts on pole position alongside another brand new car this season, Hendrik Still in the number 71 Sin R1 from Sevilla Car Motorsport. He's joined by PC van Oranje. Third on the grid, Ricardo van der Ende with Bernhard van Oranje in the M3 GT4 BMW. Ready for the start of our first race, the rolling getaway, the KTM on the left of your picture, the Sin R1 on the right, BMW side by side with the Camaro. On board with Ricardo van der Ende and Duncan Heisman down the inside in the Camaro into third place. The Sin trying to go the long way around the outside of the KTM. Has to tuck back in on the exit of Tarzan, sweeping right through Gerlach. We're on board now with Peter Larsen, started 15th, the Camaro, Jelle Bielen right in front, he started 12th, and just in front the BMW, Oscar Kruger, the Swede, Bald Eagle Racing, making their debut in the series. This is a battle for 12th place as the leaders start to pull away, and the KTM looking so different from its open version with that coupe-style lift-off roof. Little further back, Jose Maria Balbiani in the Green Sin under pressure from Simon Knapp. Simon started 5th in the Ecris BMW. The team had 2 wins at Zandvoort last year. They're going to struggle to repeat that this year. He does take the place away from the Sin. The black car behind, by the way, Daniel Uckerman's KTM GT4. On board again, battle for third place. Duncan Heisman in front, takes a tight inside line into Tarzan. Ricardo van der Ende will try and tuck in and cut back on the inside, but Heisman wise to that. The battle for third place, though, is dropping away from our lead pair. The KTM pulling away the Sin out front. Big slide on the power as Heisman gets too much wheel spin. Through goes van der Ende. Change for third place then. Can he catch the leaders? One Camaro loses out, another one is just about to gain a spot. This is Jelle Bielen diving down the inside of Jörg Wiebahn's Aston Martin Vantage GT4. Aston Martin in GT4 trim, really very popular now. This is the only one in the series at the moment this year. Coming down the straight midfield battle behind the Green Sin of Jose Maria Balbiani is Peter Larsen's Porsche. Balbiani under pressure from Peter Larsen's Porsche though. Marcus Clutton in the GT4 Chevron right in the middle of the pack. Well, this group of cars, half a dozen of them, been swapping places left, right and centre. Peter Larsen is going through in the Porsche into Gerlach. Yes, he is. And behind it's side by side the BMW Oscar Kruger and the white Chevron of Marcus Clutton loses another place as Pavel Lefterov goes through in the Lotus Evora. Lefterov now on the attack down the inside, all locked up and spins it away. Into the gravel he goes. He is going to need rescuing, and the safety car has been scrambled. And I believe the pit window is open. Sascha Halek, the race leader then. You can see the safety car down at Tarzan, and the team have not brought him in. And that might be a crucial error because everybody else is coming into the pit lane. Here is the other KTM Crossbow. Look how aggressive it looks in GT4 trim. Part racing car, part Batmobile. Sasha Halleck must be cursing this mistake. And it is a mistake, surely. Peter Ebner, his teammate, waiting at the Zandvoort team. Brief safety car period is over, and leading them away are the two Ecris BMWs, Bernhard van Oranje ahead of Rob Savers, then the two Camaros, and then on board, this is the black KTM, number 16 of Daniel Uckerman, fifth at the restart. He's going by the first of the two Camaros. That's the 69 car of Marcel Nuren, and around the outside now of Luke Brahms in 96, and he took over from Duncan Heisman, and that's 2 places. What a great move there. The KTM up to 3rd place. A little further back, Porsche versus Chevron. Halken Ringnas in car number 21, the team boss, the Swede, leading Marcus Clutton. Clutton driving all through the race in this Chevron GT4. Got a good run going here, hasn't he? Piling the pressure on the Porsche driver, really making him work. Porsche gets in front, drifts out wide, in trouble in front. Pierre Christian van Oranje has spun the sin. Marcus Clutton picks up the place and avoids that spinning R1. Back up through the field comes the black and yellow KTM, and trying to regain places. Peter Ebner goes by the Borsma BMW. Another KTM on the move. Here's the battle for 2nd place. The number 1 car is Bernhard van Oranje. And through into the lead of the race goes car number 16, Daniel Uckerman's KTM leads for the first time here. Restarted 5th, he's now in the lead of the race. Battle for 3rd place, Rob Savers in the BMW. Down the inside goes Jörg Viebahn, and behind you can see the Chevron and the Porsche still dicing for position. Looks like Viebahn has just got his nose in front, and he keeps it there. Trouble once more for Peter Christian van Oranje. Clearly the sin very different on the limit to the Ecris BMWs he's used to from last year. Talking of which, this is Simon Knapp and Rob Savers' car under real pressure. Around goes the KTM. That's a good pass from Peter Ebner. And Ebner continues his attack, taking Marcus Clutton's Chevron in his wake. Down the inside of Jörg Viebahn. Through he goes, and Marcus Clutton also climbing the order. KTM now looking perhaps at a podium position. In trouble. Lisette Brahms heavily into the barriers. You can see her down on the right. She is out of the car. She is A-OK. That is a big old shunt on the front of that BMW. On board, going around the outside of the Porsche into Tarzan. Look at the understeer here. Lots and lots and lots of lock on. Picks up the throttle and whoa, suddenly power oversteer. Snaps hard into the barriers.
Niks aan de hand, ik werk nog. Alleen de auto is kapot.
I think the Alto is definitely kaput. She is okay though, but I wonder whether they'll be able to get that car fixed for tomorrow's 2nd race. Not a mark on this car though. Our race leader takes the checkered flag as our race winner. Daniel Uckerman in the KTM on its debut wins his first race in the GT4 European Series and the amateur class as well, ahead of the Ecris BMW and the KTM that could have, perhaps should have won the race, barring that yellow flag pit stop mess up. Zandvoort still come out on top though, courtesy of Daniel Uckerman, who drove the whole race on his own. No wonder they all look ecstatic.
We had a little bit luck in the safety car phase, and then I did it. I saw my chance. I don't push so hard to the tires. I know the BMWs have little problems in the end of the race, and I tried, and then in the end I was first. And thank you to the other guys. It was a fair fight, and I think that was a good racing and good for the spectators.
After the break, we take a closer look at the Dutch Las Moras racing team. And of course, we'll get to see race 2 at the spectacular Zandvoort racetrack.
This program is brought to you by Ecris BMW and Mini and Trefoil Trading. This program is powered by Competition 102 and Trefoil Trading.
Welcome back to the GT4 European Series coming from the historic Zandvoort circuit on the Dutch North Sea coast. One of the most high-profile teams in the GT4 European Series is Las Morras Racing. Let's meet them.
The Dutch Las Morras racing team from the southeast part of the Netherlands is a well-known quantity in Dutch motorsport. They're active nationally and internationally. Most visible are their two spectacular Chevrolet Camaros and BMW M3 in the GT4 European Series. They also compete in the Hankook 24-hour series with the Renault Megane, Mercedes SLS and Porsche 911. Jelle Belen was added to the lineup for the 2015 season.
Is the team owned by Lisette and Luc, and the service part of the cars, of course, and the rest of the things is down to V8 racing. So yeah, it's a good combination together. We have a lot of fun, but when we get down to the race, qualifying or practice, we're damn serious. And yeah, we focus on the data also a lot during the day. Last weekend in Nogaro, me and Marcel were first in race 2 and second in race 1. And then Luc and Duncan were first in race 1 and second in race 2. So yeah, in the standings we're together. But yeah, I can match Duncan sometimes. Or when in Nogaro I could match him totally. Here it's still a bit difficult, but then Marcel is also a bit quicker than Luc. So yeah, hopefully we can be ahead again this weekend.
For a young driver like Jelle Belen, but also for his teammates Marcel Noren and team boss Luc Brahms, Duncan Huisman is very important.
Duncan is already racing for a lot of years. Everything we can learn from him because he has so much experience, it's indescribable.
Clear blue skies, bright sunshine, warm weather for race 2 at Zandvoort. But Lisette Brahms will be just a spectator.
Unfortunately, in the Tarzan turn, I lost the car when I just was overtaking a Porsche, and there was a little bit of dirt on the track. Yeah, I just crashed into the wall, and so it was the end of the car. And they could not repair it for the start for today. And sadly enough, it was my last race weekend for this season. Because I've got a very sad disease, cancer. And so I have to go and fix and repair myself this season and hope to be strong enough to return next year in a GT4 European Series and become the champion in the amateurs class. So I hope to see you again next year all. And thanks for everyone watching. Thanks for your support and see you again.
Tough way to end the race weekend, but she's a fighting lady. Lisette Brahms, I'm sure, will be back in 2016. We wish her all the very best. Well, on the front row of the grid once more is the KTM Crossbow. Peter Ebner will start the race and hand over to Sascha Halleck. Alongside is their teammate Daniel Uckerman. Race 1 victory already tucked under his belt in the KTM. Bernhard van der Randje lines up third on the grid in the BMW that he'll hand over to Ricardo van der Ende as they look for victory here in Zandvoort for Ekris. Here we go then, ready for the green, away we go. Poleman Peter Ebner in the yellow and black car. And looking all the way to the outside, number 16, the black car, Daniel Uckerman. Bernhard van der Randje into the back of the KTM. KTM keeps it under control under braking though. Porsche up the inside, that's Arne Klaassen looking for third place. Whoa, there goes the Aston, that's Jörg Wiebahn. And contact, Thomas Martensen gets spun around. Tough break from him in the very first corner of the race. Meanwhile, the Camaro under pressure from the Aston Martin. Drives around the outside. Las Morras Racing Team watching on. So the KTM that led race 1 now leads race 2. They have got to work a little more cleverly though with their pit stop strategy. Into the pit lane comes Martensen's BMW. Well, that's a tough break for the Scandinavians. On board now with Marcel Noren. Oh, quick lunge down the inside. Goes by Arne Klaassen in the Porsche. Klaassen on the brakes and Noren just dared to stay off them a fraction longer. So that battle continues for third place with Bernhard van der Randje. And he's hit from behind under braking. Through goes the Camaro. The Porsche 2 of Arne Klaassen. That was Marcel Noren Push to pass. And the replay there, the long shot shows the BMW getting spun out of the way. And that was a little clumsy, I'm afraid, down in corner 9. He rejoins in 4th place. KTM Crossbow versus Chevron GT4. Black KTM versus Marcus Clutton in that Chevron, both amateur class cars. And of course, the KTM had its first outright win in race 1, courtesy of that black car of Daniel Uckerman. It's all on the Sinar 1 again. Peter Christian van Oranje having a huge slide in the car. Bernhard van Oranje comes down pit road, followed by the Aston Martin of Jörg Fiebahn. This will be the battle for 4th when everything is sorted out, potentially. Looks like about half the field are coming in now, so it's going to be very busy. Time 2 for the KTM that leads the race to come in or not. Out comes the Aston Martin of Jörg Fiebahn. You can see you lose just a little over an entire lap because he was some way behind the KTM before the pit stops. Now the KTM on hot tyres trying to get around. Oh, and it's a little bit of a squeeze. He changes his mind there and wisely slow in Gerlach. As the leader is held up, here is the battle for second, holding themselves up. Arno Klaassen in front of Marcel Noren though, so he's taken second away from the Camaro. Marcus Klutton's car in the pit lane, and change for the race leaders as well. Peter Ebner has strapped in Sascha Halek. There's the damage at the back from Bernhard van Oranje's first lap shunt. And out of the race is Jan Kasperlik. Long faces at Allied Racing. Their BMW is done.
Yesterday in the first race we got an accident on the right back, and we tried to solve it over the night. We thought it was solved, but during the race some screws went loose. And that's why the rear tire is moving around, that doesn't make sense to continue.
Battle for second place, the Camaro, Jelle Belen right in front of Ricardo van der Ende, who took over from Bernhard van Oranje. This is a tough battle for the Camaro driver. BMW locks up behind him though. That sort of tyre abuse isn't going to help. Camaro drifts out a little wide. Nose to tail, wheel to wheel, out of the Arie Box and onto the long straight here, down into the braking area for Zandvoort. The BMW with the inside line. Out comes the KTM right in front after its pit stop. So this is first, second and third. The BMW now in second with target in its sights. And there, that is the end of the pass. The BMW just squeezing in front of the Camaro. So that's your lead trio. All but nose to tail, and the KTM's tyres won't be warm. Chance for the BMW and Camaro to catch now if they can stop squabbling. Well, here's another BMW battle. Tristan Boersma ahead of Simon Knapp and Marcus Clutton in the Chevron. Can he go the long way round both of them? They fan out. Knapp going the outside route. Tristan Boersma defending the inside line into Tarzan. Marcus Clutton is right there. Look how tiny that Chevron looks compared to the BMW M3 GT4s. Battle for second rages on. Down towards Tarzan they come. Jelle Belen thinks twice about making a move, but nearly runs into the back of the BMW. Now somebody's got brake issues. Is it Belen in the Camaro or is it the BMW? We've seen so many lockups from Ricardo van der Ende. You've got to think it's him. And Jelle Belen now up into second place. What are we looking for in the background here? Marcus Clutton alongside Simon Knapp, I think. Battle in the top half dozen. Clutton spins. And looks like there's not too much damage done. Hopefully he'll get the car fired up and rejoin. Out of the final corner comes Sascha Halek. It's going to be victory again in Zandvoort for KTM. Yesterday Daniel Uckerman, today Sascha Halek and Peter Ebner claim victory. Double race winning weekend for the KTM team and for Zabatek from Austria. And here it's a second and third for V8 Racing. Jelle Belen ahead of Luke Brahms in the two Camaros. Confirmation of the result of race 4 of the championship. KTM, Camaro, your top three. And Daniel Uckerman, who won yesterday outright, takes the AM-Class victory in his KTM. A remarkable weekend for the team and for the Austrian manufacturer. No wonder they look as happy as Larry. Congratulations to everybody involved.
It's absolutely great for the whole team. They worked so hard during the last week. Always when I called them and saw that they were in the workshop and worked on the car, that the car is now in these good conditions, and so that's the reason why we can do a lot of a good speed during the whole distance, during the whole race, and everything was really very good.
4 races in and 4 different winners, but the consistency of the Camaro duos, both in Nagaro and here in Zandvoort, see them on top of the points table. Daniel Uckerman, with victory, rushes right to the top of the AM class after race 1 and 2 here in Zandvoort. Well, the championship continues to fascinate. The grid is growing, new cars arriving, and the racing is entertaining all the way. Well, that wraps up the second weekend of the GT4 European Series. Our next stop is Austria's beautiful Red Bull Ring. For more information, be sure to check out the website gt4series.com. Until the next time out, thank you for watching and goodbye.
GT4 European Series supports Project Mine.